Okay, teacher.
Okay, you can start.
Yeah, it's already. Please continue. There are a lot of. Okay. We are going to talk about the developing materials for language teaching, part B, principles and procedures of materials development. We are the group 9 and it conforms by Jennifer Cumbal, Mónica Fierro, Joana Ontaneda, and me, Brennan Rivas. Let's continue.
Okay, good evening, dear tutor. And now I am going to talk to you about the developing principle framework for material development. Material development refers to all process used by professionals who produce or use materials for language learning, including material.
Okay, wait. Okay, Joanna, please. Material framework. Okay, can you, what is the title of your section? Can you repeat?
Developing principled frameworks for material development.
A ver, vamos pronunciando bien, right? In this moment, I am in other page. So I am listening to you. It means that I need to understand. It's development, yes?
Okay.
This is the title. Let's repeat again, please.
Development.
All the phrase.
Okay. Developing principal frameworks for material development.
What is the meaning of development?
Desarrollo.
Yes,
Can I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. A text-based approach to material development.
What is text-based?
Okay,
can you stop sharing the screen? Can you stop sharing the screen, please? Verán, niños, ustedes están ya en sexto, right? Can I share a screen, please? Can you allow me to share a screen? Is possible? No, I can't. No. Okay, continue.
Okay. Preparation activities. The activities aim to stimulate.
Okay, Joanna, from the whole infographic, what is the main idea of this?
It is a set of principles that the writer need to use, believe to create the English teaching materials.
Okay, very good. Yes, thank you. Let's go to the next slide. Continue, chicas. The next.
Okay. The last, please. Okay. A web-based adoption of the framework. Here materials can be based on units of text, gangers, example, ads, reports, gangers.
What is the meaning of this?
For example, can I speak Spanish? Géneros?
Male or female, right? But in that case, it's not this. In that case, are different types of text. because we're not talking about people. Yep, continue. It says other types of principle-based framework. What are these principle-based framework? What are these other types?
Here, the materials can be based on units of the text, for example, reports, jokes, stories, etc. Okay, the conclusions. The activities of a course should match the needs and desires of learners and the principles of language learning, and should be developed in a way that provides flexibility of use to students and teachers, as well as coherence of connection. The best way to achieve this is to consider both the objective context of using the materials and the principles and experience of the writers, and then develop a flexible framework to guide the development of the units.
Okay, now in your proper words, what are the conclusions? Don't read, just tell me in your proper words.
Okay. In my opinion, to first, believe to create materials, we as teachers, we need to know the types of learning students, the goals of the goals of the teaching and learning. That.
What about the textbooks? What about the material?
Okay, to create materials, first the writers need to base it on the principles, and then we can to create the best way. For example, we need to know the students, the types of learning, students, and the objective of the frameworks is helps students to develop their critical thinking and their imagination skills.
Okay, I like this. Much better. Much better. Continue the next person, please.
Good evening, teacher. My name is Jennifer Kumbal. My topic is that the introductional designs of the course.
Repeat, please. Repeat. What is the title of your topic?
That the introductional designs of the
introductional or instructional?
Instructional.
Yeah, because it's totally different, right? Introduction is you begin with something. Instructional, it gives instruction, it gives rules, it gives formats. Jennifer Kumbal, is the first time that you are working with me. Is this the first time that you are my student?
Sorry, teacher.
Is the first time that you are having classes with me?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Okay, so it says socio-cultural product. Let's go to the next slide, please, Brenda. Yeah, can you explain me this? Please explain me, no read.
That the instructional design is a
No, it's
science
not introduction. Introduction is introducción. This is instructional.
the instructional design.
Instructional design.
The instructional designs is a science creating material that optimal environment of learning to take place at will as clear and effective material that help that the student develop the ability to accomplish concept of systematic functional theory. That knowledge.
Okay, don't read the second part. Just tell me, what do you understand by semiotics? It says, okay, can you go back, Brenda, please? Yeah, it says semiotic devices. What is this? What is this? Semiotic devices.
Optimal environment for learning.
Okay.
Maybe help to student develop the ability to accomplish
Can you zoom the image? Is it possible, because I can't read? Can you zoom the image? Is it possible? Just if it is possible.
Yes.
No? Yeah, because I can't. I want to read, but I can't. Let me see. Okay, continue, Jennifer.
Okay. The language construct that present contains a predisposition toward the use of the textbook as resources in the classroom. That instructional design of the textbook is not a pitch but a choice of the different voice. More that simple model and minimums the editor and the writer to scout the scale on their influence and depends on the review. The introductional, next please. This allows this consider that acquiring the resources within the textbook and variety level in relation on their contents of use is analysis phase. The first, the problem and the objective of the student programs. 2, student profile. 3, times available. 4, possible limitation. It is next, please. Develop materials for language teachings from theory to practice. That analysis of the schematic structure of textbook show the relationship with a basis factor coming to the textbook, but at the same time variation on the schematic structure.
Okay, Jennifer, please. Can you explain in your proper words? It says from theory to practice. What is that? In your proper words, in your own words.
Show the relation with a basis pattern.
Show the relation of, but what patterns?
And the theory to practice is more identify the means to transmit the information, determinant to points to evaluate and measure that result, and maybe establish that the result that economic, human, and material.
What is economic, human, and materials? Why? For me, it's very easy, right? If you have theory, it says from theory to practice is that the content is transforming exercises and students have to practice by developing exercises. That's all. Así de sencillito quiero que me expliquen, right? Then it says learning tasks. What are learning tasks in your proper words?
That opportunity to perform tasks. to
The
achievement
opportunity to
learn,
the opportunity to
perform tasks to achievement that learning objective,
what is the learning objective?
knowledge and instruction,
Excuse me.
knowledge,
What is
that,
knowledge? I don't understand.
for example, is learning about that the topic this class. It is math emphasized in reading, homework, comprehension chores, grammar, listening, and writing. It is theory to practice.
Okay, listen to me. This word, esta palabra, va a ser usado toda su vida profesional. Esta palabra debería ser entre las common words, yes, high frequency words of your major, of your studies. What is the meaning? How do you pronounce these words? This word, Brenda,
Knowledge.
is knowledge. Yes, knowledge, knowledge. And this is part of the words that a teacher must use. So can you read again, Jennifer, please? Okay, can you read again, Jennifer? Please, can you read?
Okay. The structure of that instructional design is characterized by the introduction by the following main state. For example, is that major reading, homework, comprehension, and chores, grammar, chores, listening, chores, writing. It's a structure designs.
Closing. Okay, how do you finish a closing learning activity?
When the student complete that levels of the activity, complete the five.
Here it says they must have a reflection. They must do a reflection. That's what it says. It's here, right? Okay, continue with the second, with the next slide, please.
This image shows that the tight introduction. For example, it is listening takes, reading takes, grammar takes, vocabulary, writing.
All right, wait. It says, what is this? Text type?
Test type.
What is this?
For example, is
Instructions. Yes, instructions, right? Okay,
yes.
so listening.
Listening does, reading task, grammar,
Task.
vocabulary, and writing. It does five space. That is introductional design.
Instruction, right?
Instruction, yes.
Okay, I am helping, right? I am trying to help. This is the last time that I say, right? Estoy tratando de ayudar, pero ya no lo voy a hacer porque pienso que ya lo podrían manejar. Entonces, hasta ahí llego yo, chicas. Estoy tratando de ayudar. Ok, continue.
Okay, teacher.
Did you finish?
Yes, teacher.
Teacher, the time of this presentation will be over
Link or another link.
with, I don't know, I will share the link again.
You will share, I have a link. Do I join the same link? How are you going to share? Do you going to send me to my WhatsApp?
No, through maybe the commander?
Okay, esperemos que no se haya dormido, right?
No,
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
online.
thank you, Brenda.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Brenda. Let's go to the next session. Right.
My topic is the visual elements in English as a foreign language course books. This is an interesting topic. The introduction is the next. The importance of the use of pictures in
Are you going to
English.
share a screen?
Yes, no. No, sorry. I'm just,
You are not sharing.
no. Sorry. Okay. Introduction. The importance of the use of pictures in English course books took place in the 60s because it seems it took place in the visual element in language teaching. It was a methodologist wrote books, and the purpose of this book was to show the importance to apply the visual aids in English language teaching. The use of visual materials has increased, obviously because we have the students, the most of the students are visual learners because we live in a visual world, because they are on the television, or they are on the video games. They are immersed on the also on the social media, and obviously the visual aids are in their lives, in the whole lives of the students. This analysis seeks to examine the actual purpose of pictorial material in the course books. In this research, the author obtained the results through the 3 British course books visuals, and at the beginning of the course books, he found out the balance between the images and the colors. Okay, he found the coherence between the images, between the colors, between the pictures. But in the next pages, he found that there were a dominance of color in the pictures. The researchers found the black and white photos, most of black and white photos, not in colorful, in color pictures, just black and white, and a lot of increase of drawings. Even though when these pictures are so hard to understand for the students, because they are lack of quality. The actual use of decorative illustrations in course books. The results showed that 40.8% of photos are used just for decoration, and the 12.6% of drawings are used in the same way. It means that the over half of images are used just as simple visual adornment. Okay, the decorative images are added to provide a brief for a for a particular picture for use with an activity. And this is another use of the decorative illustrations. and the decorative picture attract the students' attention. This is an advantage of this kind of pictures, because
An advantage?
yes, an advantage. Yeah, because it try to attach the students' attention to the language learning. Because, for example, when I was an student in a high school, I'm trying to imagine how the pictures trying to say me. Okay, and in this way, I'm learning English, and because, for example, I saw people, I saw places, and I don't know, I try to imagine the places, to imagine the people, or to imagine how they say in this situations, in these scenarios. Okay. The illustrations in the 3 course books analyze these activities. These activities, the photos are used to analyze, to dealing with precise elements of the unit language, focus on syntax and vocabulary. Through, for example, giving physical descriptions of people or places in the pictures. In this way, the students could use the grammatical structures when they try to speak through the pictures. For example, they describe the picture, and they in this way they are practice their pronunciation, their grammatical skills, for example. Or in the pictures we have the activities working on listening comprehension, and this is a good way to listen, because while students are listening the audio, they are compare this listening with the picture, with what happened in the picture, and they are describe and analyze the audio with the picture. And for example, finding or giving information, the teacher could ask the students that they have to give extra information from the illustration. And in this way, the students will be develop the deduction and creativity skills. Okay. There are many pictures in the course books that it is used just for decoration. And in most cases, this is a disadvantage, because students are just focused on the decoration, on the just on the photo, not on the text. This is a disadvantage. For this reason, the decorative illustration.
Advantage and disadvantage?
Yes, there are advantage and disadvantage. The advantage is that it attracts the students' attention of the, for example, the students' attention on the language, on the language teaching, on the English in this case. But also the disadvantage is that the decorative pictures is just for decoration. It's just for an arrangement of the books. Yeah.
I think that images are fine. In fact, I really consider that this is a good way to present in text. The problem is when there are too much set of images. This can distract the students, but images are fine. Yeah, we agree on that. Okay, good. Okay,
yes,
did you finish?
No, it can be overwhelming, even to the students, because these pictures are a distraction for them. So the recommendation is that the decorative illustration could be used to help the students to boost their communicative skills And for that, the teachers could ask them to discuss and describe the pictures between them. And in this way, they could start a conversation with their classmates. And the conclusions that I find from this research is that the majority of pictures are used for decorative purposes. However, it could catch the students' interest to language learning, but they could be a distractor too. And the decorative pictures could be a method for students to practice speaking, because they can imagine the scenario and describe them. And finally, the illustrations used for language purposes tend to concentrate on low-level language skills related to basic language manipulation, because in most cases, these pictures are not saying or are not teach to students a thing, or it is not present the objective of the topic. It's just for a decoration. For example, we have pictures at the beginning of the page or at final of the page, and it is just for a visual distractor. And thank you. This was my presentation.
You're missing, right, Monica?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm right.
It's a nice section, right? It's a nice topic.
So-
Humanizing the course book.
Yeah, so good evening. I'm going to explain the topic of humanizing the course book. So first of all,
The H is like human beings, humanizing, like house, humanizing, right?
humanizing, yes. Yeah, humanizing textbooks means minimizing the analytical part of the books. For example, the activities that focus only on grammar or repetition of a command, or minimizing the formal language that many texts have, and finding ways to connect with the student's mind, treat him as a human being with opinions, feelings, and thoughts. That means exploit their capacity for learning through meaningful experience, and means adding activities which help to make the language learning process a more effective experience. Finding ways of helping the learners to connect what is in the book to what is in their minds. And with that, involve the learners in gaining and reflecting on experience. Thank you. The next, please. So, how humanizing the course books? We have three ways. The first is humanizing without the course book. And this means replacing the course book altogether. Don't use the course books. The second way is the partial replacement of the course book through adding relevance to learner's classroom experience, adding new activities that providing sensory experience of language. And the other way is humanizing with the course book. This is for the teachers that must use the course books for all the lessons, and reducing the non-humanistic elements of the books. This invites the learners to think, feel, and do in order to learn. Thank you. The next, please. So there are activities that we can use in the first way that I said before. Humanizing without the course books. That's me replacing the course book altogether. As the author of the book say, he do this activity with their students. So they ask them to through their books, and in this way the students can browse their own materials like comics or magazines, and the teacher could do things that connect with the real life of the students. with this material, with this new material. The other way that I found is that the teacher asks a group of women that write a novel. So they were asked to think of an environment they knew well and to develop a story situated in it. So the teacher acts as an informant and a supporter. And with this activity, they quickly gained confidence and self-esteem. Another activity that I can find is that use an anthology of authentic children's literature instead of the global ESL coursebook. Thank you. The next. There are some ways, activities that we can do in the partial replacement of the coursebook. That's mean adding relevance to the learner's classroom experience. The first activity is ask to the students finding texts that maybe are interesting for them, and the teacher supplying a variety of potentially engaging activities with these texts. And with this activity, the students gained confidence and enjoyment
Monica,
connecting to their
I
life.
have a question, right? It says the students supply a variety of potentially engaging activities. What is this?
As another, the teacher have to provide them with new activities. For example, I don't know.
Yes. But what is engaging? Engaging activities.
I don't know what to say. Que los comprometan con el aprendizaje. No sé, algo así.
How do you say that in English? Look for manners or look for a way to say that in English.
That's mean I don't know. Involve the learners in the learning, something like that. That the teacher propose an activity and the learners could do this with I don't know, with more energy, power. For example, like here I have these plus activities. For example, miming of histories or making sculptures, painting of murals. This is something that the students really like and is connected with the real life.
Real life.
Real
life. Yeah, that is true, right? I like this. So it means, so let's stop there and tell me, what is your message? What is your conclusion of this?
The partial replacement. So in this section, the conclusion is that the teacher could replacement parts of the coursebooks with new activities that can engage the students with the learning process. For example, as I said, the performing, for example, bizarre improvisations, for example, mimings, making sculptures, painting murals that connect with their minds, and in this way they can learn in a better way.
Yeah,
and,
that is true. Yeah, totally true. Yes.
Yeah, the next, please. So this is humanizing with the coursebooks. That means reducing the non-humanistic elements of the book. So the first activity that I can found is getting the whole class to act out a version of the coursebooks reading text from the teacher's spoken instruction. This could be do with students, for example, in a role game, play role, and in different scenarios. For example,
Role play.
yes, role play. For example, at a restaurant, at a hotel. That's me. The second is getting students individually and then in groups to draw a version of a reading or listening text before doing the coursebook's comprehension activities. And the last is replace the activities that are tedious for the students. For example, recounting a day in their life at university with a creative writing activity in which they imagined they were one of the animals from a minimal part activity in the same unit, and then describe their typical day, for example, at Cat College. And the next. So here we have how to developing humanizing coursebooks. So
humanistic. Developing humanistic coursebooks.
Okay. Developing humanistic coursebooks.
Very good.
Yeah. There are a number of ways of developing coursebooks which are more humanistic. The first is writing in a large and varied themes. The second is using a multidimensional approach. The third is using literature. The fourth is talking to the learners. And the fifth is connecting to the learners' views and opinions. And the sixth is providing alternatives. The first is trying to write coursebooks quickly in large and varied themes. The second is using affect, mental imagery, and inner speech. This multidimensional approach means using different activities that focus on developing the second language using the mental resource that we use in the first language. And the third is using literature. To use literature as a means of stimulate multidimensional mental activity during language learning. The fourth is avoid the formal or semi-formal language that have in the course books, and trying to chat to the learners casually in the same way that good teachers do. Using a personal voice in a textbooks can foster deeper and more durable learning. Connecting to the learners' views and opinions means to ensure that in most activities, the learners are asked about their own views, attitudes, feelings, and opinions. And the sixth is providing alternatives. It means offering a section of text, offering different topics and levels and different levels, and also a variety of activities depending on the learning styles. And there are math. The next, please. And the conclusion is this humanistic approach could facilitate the process of language acquisition and, of course, the personal development. But the majority of language learners...
It says acquisition, yes. Acquisition, Spanish, but in English we say acquisition.
Acquisition, yes.
Acquisition.
Acquisition.
Acquisition. So I think that there is no letter D, it's acquisition.
Yeah, it is a...
I think it's A-C-Q, not letter D. Okay, continue.
Acquisition and personal development. But the majority of language learners have to learn from textbooks or course books that aren't humanistic. And however, it's possible to make a course books more humanistic As I said before, there are innumerable ways of using this humanistic approach through different activities that can involve and engage the students with the process of learning. And we as a future teachers have the opportunity to do it with our future students. Thank you, teacher. Oops. Thank you, teacher.
I like this. So the next time, try not to read. Okay, share screen. Any content, please. Brenda, please. Can you share screen? Again.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, okay.
Okay, chicas, with your best smile, I want you to make a screenshot, right? So, can you present this like a slide? Yeah, chicas, and make a screenshot. Vamos, smile and make a screenshot for your evidences, please. Yep. Did you make the screenshot? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can you stop recording?
Yes.
Ya, mis chicas, vean. Sí, solo 2 Zooms, es bastante bueno y todavía hay un poco de tiempo. Con otros grupos nos hemos ido hasta 4 Zooms, ya podrán imaginarse. Entonces, de verdad, no les toco mucho. Cuando usted exponga, trate de no leer todo, trate de dar sus ideas, idea base, y luego usted explica. That is the best way, right? Okay, so that's all, chicas. Remember to upload the link, all of you. Brenda, Jennifer, Joanna, Monica. Upload everybody the link onto the platform. Yes? Yeah, so that's all, chicas. Time to go to bed, time to do your things. And we see you the next week. Okay? Yes? Thank you very much. Thanks to you. Goodbye, goodbye. Have a nice night. Bye-bye. Take care.